I don't know if I should film the intro like this because I clearly have a full face of makeup on, but spoiler alert, today I am doing a full face of Rare Beauty. I will be showing you guys how to get this look right here. I am so incredibly obsessed with the way it turned out, so I guess you can say, yeah, spoiler alert. I did have some hiccups within this video, so I'm gonna go through the brand, let you know what I think is hot and what I think is not worth the money. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time. I am using the new eyeshadow palette that Selena recently launched. This is called True to Myself, and it is very, very pretty. I have it on my eyes. We have a new eye primer. We have a new face primer. We also have some other tidbits like liquid eyeshadows, glosses, and melting blushes. So if you guys are excited for today's video and you want to learn more about the brand, make sure you guys subscribe. Completely free. Also, while you're at it, like the video. Likes go a long way and they always help me out on my channel. And I mean, turn on your post notifications so that way you guys are notified anytime I upload. Mondays, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're not gonna wanna miss it. With that being said, I'm drinking my watered down coffee, so grab whatever it is that you guys have, matcha tea, water, whatever you drink, and let's get into today's video. So to kick today's video off, I'm gonna start off with the Always an Optimist primer and setting spray. Now this launch, with her original launch, I will definitely say when I initially tried it, I wasn't the biggest fan. I was just like, all right, it's okay, nothing special. But I love that it has niacinamide in it, so it's really going to hydrate and just like refresh my skin. I do put this on before makeup and also after makeup. I just find it is a really nice pick-me-up, so I'll give it a big ol' shake. And then just like spritz my skin. And as you can see, my skin does have a pretty nice glow going on. That is mainly because I did use the Glow Screen by Supergoop. This is also tinted, so it doesn't give me flashback or anything like that. This and this, incredible. So good. You definitely don't need this, but this, girl, protect your skin from the UVA and UVB rays. And not even just girls and boys and gals. Go get you some. So let's move on to primer. I am going to prep my skin before jumping into eyeshadow, but I do want you guys to know that Rare Beauty just launched a brand new primer. This is the Pore Diffusing Primer. I do have the little PR kit that was sent to me, so I do want to read off some of the ingredients. It has hyaluronic acid, green tea extract, which helps soothe and calm the skin, and also vitamin E, which is an antioxidant that protects the skin from environmental stressors. Ooh. And it also says that it minimizes and smooths away the look of pores. It helps fight shine, extends foundation wear, blurs fine lines, gives an instant soft focus blurring effect, yada yada yada. It retails for $26. I really love the packaging on this. Now they also have the illuminating primer, which I will be using in conjunction with the pore diffusing one, but I'm mainly going to focus the pore diffusing one obviously in areas where I have slightly enlarged pores, so like right up in this area right here. Just gonna do a little squeeze. Oh, the consistency of this is really, really nice. I'm just gonna take it here. I will say it is doing a little bit of blurring. I'll give it that. Like this side, I feel like my pores are very, very blurred, whereas this side, I feel like they are a little bit more prominent, but that can be because I went in with the Glow Screen, so it is a little bit more highlighted than what it would usually be, but it feels really, really nice on the skin. By the way, I don't know if you guys know this, but Rare Beauty is non-comedogenic, cruelty-free, and vegan, which I think is really, really great. I feel like that is a really big selling point, and I feel like that's what really draws me to the brand. That, and Selena really just focuses on natural beauty, like enhancing your natural beauty, not necessarily like covering everything up, and I feel like that's definitely a wave and a trend right now. So I wanted to re-highlight the brand and just showcase some new products today. Now, because this is a pore diffusing primer, I'm wondering if it's like pore filling. I feel like diffusing and filling are two completely different things. So I don't feel like it completely filled in my pores, but they do look a lot less noticeable. For eyeshadow, we finally have some options within the line. When Selena originally launched this line, she didn't really come out with any eyeshadows or anything like that. I feel like her primary focus was really on skin and lips. But since then, she launched a couple of eyeshadow palettes. I have these ones right here. One is in Confident Energy and the other one is in the shade Magnetic Spirit. Both of these palettes are so beautiful. I definitely feel like these are staple palettes to have in your collection because they are colors that are really gonna transform your makeup look Do you see that blue? And it's really like melting into the skin. It's not sitting on top of the skin. You know what? If I had to describe these, I would definitely say they're kind of like cream eyeshadows, but in an eyeshadow form and in a palette form. If you guys know anything about cream potted eyeshadows, then you know they're very, very expensive. I wanna say you're paying like upwards $29 to $40 for a single cream eyeshadow. But for me, I feel like palettes like these are a little bit more worth it because you get a variety of different topper shades that you could use within like your everyday matte palettes to really elevate your look. So I never got a chance to play around with these, but I will definitely be playing with them over on Instagram, Reels, TikTok, because they're so, so beautiful. Let me just swatch this lilac shade right here, right next to that blue. Like, look at that. They're really melting into the skin. So I feel like the formula of these are really rich in color and just very, very beautiful. Because I do want to keep things fairly wearable for today, I probably won't dip into this palette, mainly because she did just launch a brand new eyeshadow palette, which is this one right here. This is called True to Myself, and it has a good variety of different formulas. So we have some mattes, some shimmers, and then we have like this chunky glitter shade, which I probably won't use because for me, that's not wearable and that's not like up my alley or anything. I think it's crazy that she decided to put this chunky glitter in here because she's really all about like that naturalness within the line. So to me, that's like the most unnatural thing I've ever seen. But I'm gonna use this palette today, and I'm also going to use it in conjunction with her brand new eyeshadow primer. I'm excited about this. I do wanna read off what it does. It's a lightweight, it blends seamlessly into the skin, holds color in place, extends wear, dries down quickly, it doesn't feel sticky, and it also blurs and smooths the eyelid. It retails for $18 as well. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this and do a little bit of prep work. I will also say it has good pigmentation to it. Do you see that? It's kind of like muting out my eyelids. To buff and blend it out, I'm gonna use a Rare Beauty brush, but you can literally use whatever you want. This is me kind of revisiting the brand almost after, I wouldn't even say a whole year. It's probably been about like 5 or 6 months since this brand's been on the line, but she's really killing it. She's hitting it out of the park. So just touching the eyelid, I will definitely say that they're not sticky whatsoever. It dries down very, very nicely and it almost feels weightless on my eye. So kudos to you, Selena. I also really love the coverage of this. It's not too opaque, but it's also not too sheer. So it falls like right in the middle. You can see my veins are peeking through, but not too much. And I do like that, especially for like my very natural, like barely there skin days. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna jump into this eyeshadow palette here. I'm going to take that peach tone shade and I'm gonna rock it into my crease to act as my transitional shade. I will definitely say that this matte shade is very, very soft and buttery. It blends out beautifully onto my eyelid. It's not really clinging onto the eyeshadow primer at all, which I do like. I'm also not going too crazy with the eyeshadow application. You can definitely see I'm really trying to keep things sheer and just very lightweight. Wow, you guys, this is my first time trying Rare Beauty eyeshadows, and I will definitely say I'm impressed. Another thing I really want to try from Rare Beauty is this right here. This is one of the liquid eyeshadows in the shade Nearly Neutral. I've been really wanting to try these. I just haven't gotten around to doing it. This is such a beautiful, obviously neutral tone, very similar to what I have going on the eyes. I am going to take a little bit of this onto the lid. I'm just gonna kind of tap it, and then I'm gonna buff and blend it out with a brush. I'm just gonna use a flat brush. This is really gonna give coverage to my lid, and I'm hoping I could blend this out effectively without it getting patchy. I totally forgot she had these cream eyeshadows. I probably should have laid this down first, but you know me, we're just gonna kind of roll with the punches and go with the flow. So I'm not sure how much I'm loving that. I definitely feel like the cream is pretty hard to like buff and blend. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back into that brush. I'm actually gonna go in with a smaller brush so that way I could really get in there in my crease in hopes of taking the peach shade from this eyeshadow palette and just blending everything together. If you guys know of a better way to use her cream eyeshadows, let me know because I definitely wanna use them like effectively. But this color and this overall look, like with that really nice wash of peach all over the lid. It's really speaking to me. I feel like that's what's really on trend right now. I'm seeing a lot of people do like a wash of blue, a wash of green, a wash of peach. Oh yeah. So going in with a little bit more of that peach in the crease really just helps this blend together nicely with that cream eyeshadow. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this shade right here. It is a deeper shade, and I'm just gonna use this to add a little bit of dimension. I'm not gonna go crazy. Just here in the outer V, lightly just going to diffuse this. So you can definitely see me taking this shade here is adding a slight contour. I don't want to go crazy. Sometimes I feel like with my looks, I tend to get very, very overboard, and I have a hard time balancing like natural shadow with natural makeup because I get so heavy-handed on my eyes. So I'm gonna try not to do that today. But these colors are blending very nicely. I don't find these to be powdery at all whatsoever. They are really great formulas, and they're building very nicely on top of those creams without getting patchy or anything like that. So I'm looking at the other shades in the palette, and I'm really trying to figure it out. I think that this pink tone here is really speaking to me, you guys. Do you see that? It is such a beautiful kind of like coppery pink, but then also directly over top of it is that really pretty, I want to say it's like a rosy champagne, because it definitely has like a peachy undertone to it. What do I do? I don't know. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go in with this shade here, and I'm just going to tap it onto the lid. I'm not gonna cut my crease or anything like that. I really want this to be soft, pretty, and diffused. So here we go. I'm going all in. Just gonna stick this onto my eye. I will say applying it with your fingers probably is gonna be your best bet, especially because of the formula. It just melts onto the lid. It almost looks like borderline wet. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of like a cream eyeshadow. That's how creamy the formula is. I'm borderline obsessed with this eyeshadow, and that's from the standpoint of it being so soft and thin in formula. It really just melts onto the eyes. I'm so crazy obsessed with Rare Beauty. You guys have no idea. Like, I feel like she's really nailing down this formula. Whenever I think of like a shimmer or anything like that, sometimes I think of a formula that is a little too chunky. Like, you guys know, like a shimmer eyeshadow that looks very chunky, but these are really just melting into the skin, and I'm a fan. So I'm gonna go in with that soft pink shade that I swatched earlier, and I'm just going to tap it in the center to add some light to this look. I love it. I do. Oh wow, she's cute. So this right here is the eye look. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't feeling it. Like, I'm really, really into it. I'm gonna switch gears though. I'm gonna take a break from the eyes, and I'm gonna start working on the skin. Now that we've primed, I am gonna go in with one of their liquid highlighters. You guys know, tried and true, one of my personal favorite products from Rare Beauty. If you guys have not tried their liquid luminizers, you really need to. You gotta get your hands on just one, maybe two. I do have two shades here. I have Mesmerize, and then I also have Outshine. If you love more of like a gold base, then this would be your go-to. But for me, I've really been loving like this kind of like champagne pinky tone, and with the eyes, I think it's gonna look very, very nice. So I'm gonna take the applicator, and I'm just gonna put it on the highest points of my cheekbones. It does look a little crazy going on, but trust me when I tell you, when I buff and blend this out, it looks so unreal on the skin. A little bit on the nose, because why not? And Cupid's bow. To blend it out, I am going to use this sponge right here, which is also by Rare Beauty. I can't say I'm the biggest fan of the sponge, mainly because it's very, very porous. It has like very big holes in it, and that's not to say that porous sponges are bad. I'm just not the biggest fan of the shape. I feel like it doesn't really do me any justice. Like, I don't know, I just don't love it, but I am gonna use it for the purpose of wanting to keep things very Rare Beauty in this video and just show you guys what her brand really has to offer. There are better sponges on the market, like the one from e.l.f., the Total Face Sponge. It's porous just like this, but it's very, very soft, and it blends out product like a dream. So you could definitely save coin when it comes to this baby right here. So you can definitely see that this really gives the skin such a beautiful and intense glow, something I'm really into. I definitely recommend checking these out. They have my stamp of approval, so I will have them listed down below. But with that being said, I definitely want to move on to foundation now. I feel like pairing this liquid luminizer underneath of a foundation is really going to give you the best effect, but you can also put them directly over top of like a tinted hydrator, a foundation, whatever it is that you're using. Today I will be using this right here by Rare Beauty. I want to say this retails for like 29 bucks. I want to say under $30. I think that this is such an incredible price point. I really love the formula as well. It's very medium to buildable coverage. It's not completely sheer, but it's also not like full on coverage. I love that it has this little applicator here, which in the past I haven't been a fan of, but with the consistency of this product, I really do appreciate it. So I am using the shade 240W, which I know looks a little dark. That is mainly because it is, but I am going to make it work for the purpose of today's video because this is the lightest shade I have. One thing I'm gonna do before I actually go in with the sponge is I am just going to work this in with my finger, and oh my God, this looks so scary. Wow, this is actually really dark. I think I might be like 190 or something. Oh. You know what? We're just gonna keep it moving. I'm not gonna be dramatic because I know very well that this foundation here does sheer out quite a bit. So it's not going to be like Oompa Loompa status on me. And I'm also gonna blend out my neck. Probably even put on a turtleneck because Lord have mercy. Now that I have the foundation buff and blended out, I definitely feel like it's looking a little bit better as far as color. Still a little golden, still a little dark, but I promise you when I go in with concealer, it's definitely going to lighten things up and really just bring things home. I really want to focus on the overall coverage and just the way it looks on the skin. It is very skin-like, it is very natural. It provides me with great coverage. You guys know I struggle with acne, hyperpigmentation, blemishes, and it covered all of that up, and that is saying a whole lot. I'm now gonna go in with some of the concealer. Now this concealer by Rare Beauty is probably one of the better concealers I have tried. I don't quite have my perfect shade, so I will be mixing in between two shades, 130N and also 300C, which is a little bit more cooler, which means it does have more of like a peachier undertone, which I do like considering I do struggle with like darkness underneath my eye. So I do like to start off with 300C, and then I'll incorporate just a little bit of the 130 neutral. Is this helpful? Probably not, because I'm really mixing colors, but what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to list my perfect shades on the screen just in case you guys want to reference them down below. By the way, I am using that Rare Beauty sponge to blend out the concealer, and you can definitely see that even though I use 300 and 130, the color match is beautiful underneath the eyes. See? I told you guys I would not steer you wrong. Is it ideal to have two concealers? No, but that's what I have. And I'm just working with what I have. Because my color match is so off, I'm also gonna take a little bit of this concealer onto my forehead and my chin as well. And I'm gonna take some of that 300C to balance it out. And this is just gonna add lightness, and it's really gonna open up the face. I did do a little bit of powdering off camera, and I just used a little bit of this by Kosas. This is the new Cloud Set powder. I've used it like once or twice before on my channel, but let me tell you, I have not been able to put this down. I am in the shade Comfy. It doesn't look like I've really been dipping into it, but I've been using this a whole lot. What I love about it is that it's almost weightless on the skin, especially when I'm going for more of like that natural skin look. I don't want to put on a powder that's too heavy or is going to make me look overly powdered, and when I put this on, it sets everything down and in place, but it looks so incredibly natural that it almost looks like I'm not wearing powder. Like, no lie, it's like a no powder powder.
What?
So I'm just going to apply a little bit onto the areas of my forehead that are just a little shiny, and then I'm also going to take some right down here in my cheek area, and you're definitely going to see I'm still going to have that shine peeking through, but it's setting down my makeup. Like, I cannot say enough good things about this powder. I know it is not a Rare Beauty product, but I really hope she comes out with something very similar to this, because this is so crazy good. And I think it will really reflect her line really well. Another thing that Rare Beauty doesn't really have within their line is a bronzer, which sucks. So I'm gonna use this bronzing duo by Jaclyn Cosmetics that I've really been loving. This is also like a bronzing powder that looks very natural on the skin. So I'm just gonna take it in big circular motions and just add some warmth to my skin. This is like a product you just cannot mess up. Like, it's never gonna look bad, trust me. So let's talk about blush. Now, I definitely feel like I can go one of two ways whenever it comes to the blush, because Rare Beauty does have two different blush formulas within the line, one of which is the Soft Pinch blush that she originally launched with her line. I love this formula so much. It is that very liquidy, very overly pigmented formula. And then we also have the melting blushes right here, which are in this compact form. Really, really nice packaging, a very emollient base blush though. I feel like sometimes when I put it directly over top of my base, it tends to break them up a little bit and things start to shift around. So you definitely have to be careful with this formula, but it still is really, really beautiful if you use it the right way. The blush I will be using today is this one right here though. This is the Soft Pinch blush in the shade Joy. The reason I'm using this is because I feel like there is a common misconception whenever it comes to this blush, and that is that it's bad because it's too overly pigmented and people can't really work with it. But the best way I can explain it and the best way I could show you guys how to use it so that way you guys can get the best application possible is to take a little bit onto the back of your hand. I know a little strange, but that's kind of how I like to work with it. I'll take a brush like this, and I do like to use a stiffer, more densely packed brush, and then I'll really saturate the bristles. I'll just go back and forth, and I know you're probably cringing because that is a lot of product and you really don't need a lot of product with this blush, but I like to saturate the bristles very evenly so that way when I go in with the blush, it applies so beautifully and so airbrush. You can definitely see that that looks really, really pretty on the cheeks. I'm gonna take my brush and wipe it on a clean area of my hand, and I'm gonna do the same thing to really blend it out. I'm also going to take some onto the apples of my cheeks as well and really just make sure this product is nice and blended. Again, it is very pigmented, so you really don't need a lot of product at all, but look at that. It blends onto the skin so pretty, so airbrushed, and it probably is one of my favorite liquid blush formulas. I kid you not, you guys need to run to Sephora to pick this up. I want to say the Sephora Spring Savings event is going on right now, so definitely get your hands on these. I'm gonna reach back into that liquid luminizer that I used prior, and I'm really just gonna show you guys different methods in which you could use these products because I feel like you could really do a lot. You can put them underneath your foundation, you can put them over top of your foundation. We're just gonna ball out and we're really gonna amplify things. So I'm going to take a little bit of the liquid luminizer. I'm just like what do I do? But I'm gonna take a little bit of that liquid luminizer onto the back of my hand. I'm gonna pick it up with a sponge, and then I'm lightly going to tap it onto the highest points of my cheekbone. Sometimes I feel like when you take the product directly to your face, you've already messed up, like you've already applied too much. So that's why I like to put things on the back of my hand. Is it a little messy? Yeah, but I feel like the overall result and the method is totally worth what you get in the end because it always looks so pretty and just so airbrushed. And I am using a lot of different like pink undertones, like pinky peach, because it's kind of like what I want to do, but you could really do whatever you want with this look. Another thing I really want to do, especially with this look, is create like faux freckles. And I'm just gonna use this brow pen by, who is this by? By NYX. I feel like the more faux freckles you apply and then the more and more you tap directly over top, kind of like the more natural they become, because I feel like whenever I see freckles, I see like a lot in like a cluster, like right next to each other. So that's kind of what I'm trying to mimic. I'm also gonna take a little bit of like my Coat Sauce powder here because it is so sheer and it doesn't really give me coverage, but it's gonna lighten them just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I am gonna go in with a little bit of lip liner, and the lip liner I'm gonna use is by NYX. This here is in the shade Cold Brew. It is more of like a brown lip liner, but I find that it pairs insanely well with like pinks and nudes and things like that. So I'm gonna line my lips a little bit here. And I'm not gonna press too hard because I don't want this to be too intense. For gloss, I'm gonna use this right here. I did have another gloss that I really love, and I was pairing it with Cold Brew, but I can't find it for the life of me, and it breaks my heart because I really love that shade. I actually used it in this photo right here, and the lip combo is so fire. I really wish I could recreate that in today's video, but in the meantime, I'm gonna go in with this gloss right here. It's in the shade Nearly Rose, and it is a really pretty pink shade. It's gonna complement the eyes very nice. It is definitely gonna be more of a monochromatic look today, which I'm not mad at. So for today's look, I will be popping on a pair of false lashes, and I know what you're thinking, like, I thought this was supposed to be a natural look, Ashley. Well, it is gonna be a natural look, you guys. To me personally, the easiest way to false lash is by using these right here. These are by the brand Kiss. These are the Falscara Wisps, and I am going to be applying it with the Bond and Seal. So pretty much this is like a dual-ended mascara, and then you go in with the Bond, you really coat your natural lashes with this, and then you pop on these little wispies directly underneath. It's the coolest thing ever. I tried these out in a TikTok video a couple videos back, so if you guys want to watch that video to see my first impressions, you could watch that, or you could just watch me do it now because I'm gonna put them on. The first thing I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna go in with this lash curler and then go in with the Bond. Now for me personally, whenever I'm putting these on, I'm really not putting them on all the way in the inner part of my eye because I feel like that really closes things off. So I'm only going to be doing like an accent lash. And the tool I'm going to use is also by Kiss. I got the starter kit to begin with, so that way I could really get a feel for it. This is pretty much gonna be my accent lash. If you guys are ever curious as to what I did one long, 2 medium, and 1 short to create this little accent lash right here. I'm now gonna go in with the opposite end, which is the Seal, and apparently you're supposed to just take this directly over the areas where you put the false lashes and the Bond. You're just sealing everything together. And then one thing I always make it a point to do is I'll go in with some like a regular mascara. This is just Revlon So Fierce, and I'll coat the inner part of my lashes just so that way they blend in with the false lashes, considering I didn't put them like all the way in the inner part. I don't know, I just haven't been liking lashes like too close to the inner corner. I also find that this way looks a lot more natural to me personally. Last and final thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with some of the Prime and Set spray. I'm gonna give this a good old shake. And then I'm just gonna set my whole face down and in place, and we are pretty much done with like this full-blown Rare Beauty look. What do you guys think? And that is pretty much it, you guys. This right here is the final and completed look. I personally love the look, and I know what you're thinking. My girl really put on a faux ponytail, and she really put on a quarter zip to film this outro. And yeah, I did. I really had to see this look through. I had to see if it was gonna be a look that I was like really into, and I am really into it. I'm probably going to recycle this look next time we go out. In fact, we're going out for the first time in what feels like well over a year. We're going to a Raptors and Hawks game on the 13th, and by the time you guys watch this video, we would have already gone to the game. But so cute, right? Very spring, fresh, natural, lightweight. The eyes look glossy, but I definitely use eyeshadow. I feel like my favorite formula within this palette here is definitely this right here. It is just such a pretty, like glossy, very creamy like formula. It looks wet on the eyelids. She did a great job with this palette. Again, I feel like this is probably the most unnatural thing about her line. Like, full-blown glitter. I never thought I would see it, Selena. But another thing I want to point out are the liquid eyeshadows. If you guys have tried those really creamy liquid eyeshadows by the brand, let me know down below, and if you guys know of any best practices as to how you should apply them and things like that without them getting patchy. I'd love for you guys to give me some feedback, because as you guys saw, I could have very well ruined this look with those cream eyeshadows. But I didn't. I pulled through, and I definitely want to use them a little bit more. I want to play with them just so that way I don't write them off right away. I want to give them a second chance. But other than that, I did love all the products I used within today's video. And if you guys want to check out this brand, I will have all products listed down below. I do want to bring this series back where I do a full face of certain brands, because I feel like it is really nice to sit down and use a full face of these products, so that way you guys know what these brands have to offer, what's hot, what's not, what I would recommend, and what other people would recommend as well, because the comment section is always a good time. So let me know if you have any brands in mind for an upcoming video. I'd love to know. And with that being said, I don't have much else to say except my stomach hurts. I need to drink water and my head hurts. This ponytail is on hella tight. So I'm going to go. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.